We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live at Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise a pack of wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
He's here.
He's here.
He's
Cheers.
here.
Cheers. He made it.
Cheers.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence this week, Mr. Jennings.
I know.
I know. You know, sometimes I just get needy. You know, I like having a co-host for these things instead of trying to do it myself, so.
Listen, I'm here.
Good to see you. I'm rocking the, I like to call it the vintage Do Fools Agree tee because it's been washed probably 10 times and is fading a little bit.
We've been doing it long enough that
we have
you
vintage
can call
tees.
that vintage.
Right?
But just flip them inside out.
And you know it's a vintage one because this is actually still the branded True Classic tee before I figured out that you could get them shits on bulk sale on jiffyshirts.com under Next Level.
Listen.
Much more cost effective.
I'm not mad at you. I'm more of a middle shelf kind of guy anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you, especially when it comes to clothes, man. Like, I bought, so I'm going to tell on myself a little bit here. I did a, headshot stuff for work the other day.
Headshot stuff, like model stuff?
Like professional photography, yes. Would I call myself modeling? No.
Like the shit that they frame and put in the hallway.
Yeah, exactly. Except in corporate America, it's what you put up when you're not on video. And since I'm looking for a promotion, I need something that looks a little more professional there. That was the justification.
Is that your excuse?
That's my excuse. And I did, and Cliff, you'll be proud of me because where did I go to get new clothes for this? I'll give you a hint. It's where we got the stuff for the wedding, buddy.
The Men's Warehouse.
K&G Men's Superstore out there on Morse Road. Dude. I got a Calvin Klein, like this. It's not navy, but it's not like periwinkle or anything. It's like a solid blue sports jacket. I look good, dude.
I like how you tried to stumble over periwinkle. I like how you tried to slide that in there. That's blue? Periwinkle is blue?
Periwinkles are blue. It's like a lighter, like a baby blue, I think.
Right, okay.
So it's not it's not that by any means, but it's not navy. Like, it's a little lighter. It's somewhere in between.
I think of like a purple when I hear that.
When you hear periwinkle, you might be right.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue. For
like
some
a
reason,
pale purple or something.
For some reason, periwinkle to me is like a pale blue. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat will
You might be right.
educate us.
I don't know, but I'm just saying when I think of it, I'm not saying I'm right. when I hear the word, I think of a light purple.
Yeah, I hear you. This was a result.
How was your week other than your fucking
photo shoot? That was last
Cindy
Sunday.
Crawford moment.
Dude, I don't know how I'm gonna make it to June or make it through June, but we'll get there. I am I'm burned out. Like, I texted my boss at like 4:30 today, and I sent her this note. I'm like, I can't decipher what this means, and I don't know if it's a big deal. Can you look at it and let me know what you think? Because I'm burned the fuck out.
Listen.
So, look. Pastel purple and light purple lavender. You were right on Periwinkle.
Listen.
I was wrong. Well done, sir.
Listen.
Well
I
done.
know something every now and again, baby. Not much.
Oh, and the chat's back. Look at that. We're actually live after the last 2 or 3 weeks of live completely shitting out on us. So,
yeah, I don't know. My shit's on some weird shit.
I tell you what. I mean, I ended up. That was part of the reason why I was on so early. I was Andrew's at some concert. He's at the. Do you know AJR? No. So AJR is like this. I don't know. The best way I can describe them is they're like a pop. Almost like the new age boy band kind of shit. And they got some decent hits. You probably would recognize a song or two from them,
right?
But like, I didn't know who they were. So he's at a concert right now, and anyways, so I was up here early, and I was just I was fucking around with stuff. If you can see the curtain behind me, you can no longer see the rod. I did that. And then I also unplugged everything and plugged it back in, which is why we were having technical issues right before the show.
I didn't notice.
I
didn't notice the rod.
I'm offended. That was such a big deal to me because it's been annoying the shit out of me for the last
What's crazy
6
is I was about to ask you, did you just hang a curtain up or something?
Right. Well, it's because now you can't see the rod. I moved it up to the ceiling. The rod's on the ceiling now instead of right behind me. It was right here.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference. But it means a lot to me because this looks a lot more professional than that other shit does. The nice thing about this setup too is I can touch the ceiling right here. You can't see that I'm touching the ceiling, but I'm touching the ceiling because I'm in that little alcove.
Right.
So I feel like I'm all boxed in. I feel like I'm all boxed in. Nothing can get me.
You like being snug and.
Yep, I sure do. I know you're not laughing at me, Mr. Agoraphobia and wide open spaces.
It's not wide open spaces so much as
vast emptiness.
Yeah.
Like your soul.
Right.
Oh, man. How was your week?
I expect that question every week, right?
Yeah, and you're never prepared for it, so it's okay.
Never know how to come at it. I survived.
You're still here. I'm still here.
Around.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong. All right, Antoine.
Oh, shit. Yeah, All that.
Well, sir?
Nah, it was cool, though. I can't complain.
You doing all right?
Nah, I can't complain.
All right. I could complain, but nobody fucking listens. I actually...
Right. It's Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th, and I'm surprised that didn't come up in our topic conversations. So maybe we can spin off an inadvertent thought around that. What superstitions do you have? We're both former athletes. You still do a little bit. I still do a little bit. But any superstitions that you kind of keep in mind as you get into that stuff?
I have, matter of fact, it's ironic that you asked that question because I have superstitions still to this day, right? And one of them did not come to fruition this morning, but it didn't necessarily affect my day.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, but like when you think you break, so you brought it up like in a term of athletics, and it's like, to me, if I don't get my superstition out, then automatically in my head, I'm thinking I can have a bad game. Like, I'm not going to have the game I'm used to having because I didn't get to do my little ritual beforehand.
Yep.
And I feel the same way when I do work, right? And one of the rituals I have is I'll take different routes depending on how I feel.
Okay, so you mean like your morning trip to Speedway, or like routes to where?
Definitely that, right? Definitely that. And that is actually the exact instance I'm speaking of, right?
How does I know?
Just to use that as an example, but it's not even that. It'll be like to my family's house or to, wherever I'm going. Like, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll take a specific route. I don't know why that is. It sounds weird.
It does sound weird. My choices on that are always logical. It's like, I got stuck at a red light here, but I can make the right-hand turn and still get to where I need to go.
No, because sometimes I get, like, feelings.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be on this street anyway, and turn off.
I think that's just part of growing up in the hood. I feel like some shit's about to go down on this street. I gotta go.
And it's not even that, right? It's not even that. It's just, it's a feeling. It's almost like a spider sense type shit. And I feel like this path feels more comfortable. Even that, and sometimes, but this path feels more comfortable to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I have to sink into my comfort. So to wrap up a boring story, I was driving the Speedway this morning, and the street that I expected to turn down because my feelings, it's Friday. This is, I'm ready to get the week over with, so I take a different route. I feel like some are faster, some are slower because I want to draw out my day.
Yeah.
But it was a construction sign there, and it pushed me down to the next street, right? And I'm about to turn and everything, construction sign there. Okay. And mind you, the next street was an alley. So now you push me all the way to where I'm at, where I have to turn. And I'm turning into traffic now. I'm not turning off of a side street. Yeah. So now it was a whole thing I had to, because I didn't want to wait at the light.
Right. I get it.
Because I was already inconvenienced and I'm frustrated. So now I'm driving aggressive trying to get to where I got to go.
Right.
But even after that happened, I thought I'm about to have a bad day off this bullshit. But I sat down and I prayed about it. It was that serious to me. And I ended up having a decent day at the end of the day. I can't complain.
Well, I'm glad you had a decent day. That's good.
The
thing came up here, any bad luck today, that's coming out of the chat. And not necessarily bad luck, just to your point, kind of bad vibes or bad juju. I snapped at my team today. And so the main project,
you're the bad vibe. You're the bad juju.
I was. And I was irritated because we got on this meeting and I basically said, well, these are the 4 like big topics we have. And like, I don't know if they were like joking or they were serious, but they were like, literally of the 10 people on this call, 6 of them were like, well, what are they? Well, what are they? And I'm like, we have literally been talking about this shit for the last 2 weeks. If you don't know what it is, that's a fucking problem. And the entire call got quiet. So like, I don't know if they were just like having fun, poking fun, because I did one of my dramatic pauses or what, but I fucking snapped on them.
And I know how you can be too when you
get
irritated.
When I get irritated, Trust me, you've seen it mainly with my son most of the time. Like, I feel like I'm a lot chiller than I used to be. Like, I've definitely mellowed, especially the last year. Like, the last year I've mellowed the fuck out because I don't think I'm carrying other stresses. But,
right.
But you also know, like, I can get fucking intense when I have to or when I want to or when I lose it. That was one of those moments. I had to call my right hand on that project and be like, I didn't mean to yell at you guys. I was just frustrated. because we've literally been talking about this same
Well, you
shit
can't
for
just
2
call
weeks.
that. You gotta call everybody.
Nah. Everybody else can fucking deal with it. They're contractors. This person's actually an employee.
That ain't right.
No, I did. I had conversations with each of them throughout the day where I at least acknowledged, like,
right.
I'm sorry. But that one
it
I
ain't
called,
even
like,
I'm sorry. Nah, it ain't even that I'm sorry. It's just like, can y'all please just get on it?
Well, yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, this is a 3-year project that's in the last 45 days.
Right.
That
this
literally,
is the finish line.
my career is hanging on. Like, I was put on this shit 6 months ago, and the expectation is that I can turn it around. And I've done a good job, but still, it's one of those things that it's like, no, I am, like, I've been laughy and jokey and jovial with y'all for the last 6 months. This is fucking go time. Let's go. So to your point, it's like we're at the finish line. We need to finish strong.
And I know you've had those meetings as well.
Right.
Man, fuck your job.
How do we get back on work?
Right. You always do this. How we do this?
All right. Cutting off of work. You got any? Did we even cover my inadvertent thought around Friday the 13th and superstition? So yes, you talked about yours. Mine.
Oh, you know what's yours?
I don't know that I call it a superstition, but like every season at the start of the season when I'm coaching, although I guess it's kind of fallen off. Like up until 2 years ago, I would wear my college championship ring during games up until we hit the point where I could no longer achieve those same goals. So like my championship ring from college was an undefeated season, a league title, and a playoff win. And that was the only that's like the one ritual I have. And then obviously like any good athlete, wear the same shit every week.
Right.
But outside of that, I'm trying to think if I have any other like superstitions. I do the gas thing where like the gas has to either be at a 50-cent increment or a 0 increment. Like it's either $25 flat or $24 or $24.50.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't like loose change on my gas. And I don't know if that's a superstition or just OCD. Like I don't want to see an off number on my credit card statement.
Motherfucker, get Acorn,
right?
and save the change.
Round that change up.
Is that what that app is?
I don't know. Is it? It feels like it is. Like you store a little bit every time. It should be if it's not.
I feel like I had that in the cabinet.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would consider a superstition.
Superstitions. I don't know too many superstitions.
No.
And even the superstition, I don't. Like, I feel like what I have are more rituals than superstitions.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, not to sound all witchy, you know what I mean? But like something I have to prepare myself for the upcoming event. Yep. And I feel like that's more of a ritual than a superstition. Now, I do feel superstitious, like, I know that's not a feeling, but I do feel when I don't complete my ritual the same as somebody who's superstitious, who just broke a mirror or walked under a ladder. You know what I mean? I still have that same feeling when I don't complete it, but I wouldn't really say superstitions, I don't think.
Nah, I'm with you.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, nothing weird though.
All right, hitting the chat real quick. Malcolm, fuck off. Malcolm with the, what are the big three, Mike? Let's see what else we got here. Mike sleeps with a Snuggie every night. You know what, Malcolm? you got the login credentials, young buck. Feel free to hop on. I'm the same on the gas. I do always do an even amount. See, Malcolm feels me. He's like, nah, but it's OCD. All right, you ain't wrong. What about you? You got any inadvertence to get us going? Sorry, as I ask you
I
as
do.
you're taking a sip.
I do have an inadvert.
What you got?
So I was thinking the other day, like counselors and psychiatrists and all that.
Uh-huh.
And of course, you go to school for, your degree in psychology and all that jazz, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking to myself, like, of course, someone could be more emotionally susceptible than someone that's gone to college for it.
Okay.
Like the question is, that person who is more emotionally susceptible, are they as good in communication? You know what I mean? You learn other skills in college aside from recognizing.
Then the textbook, like, this person is displaying these symptoms, it's probably
Right,
this.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I
And
don't see. Here's the thing. Okay, sorry. Continue.
well, yeah, it brought me back to like almost like shaman shit. Like back in the day, like they didn't have the textbooks to know the words or the diagnoses of these, but they knew.
Yeah, but it was oral history. Like, that was a very big thing, was for that to be passed down from one generation to the next by one shaman to the future shaman.
And you think they was calling it psycho schizophrenic, all the, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
Like
I don't think it was technical like that. But I guarantee you, it was. If a person is acting like this and doing these types of things, try this. You know what I mean?
But I mean, we strayed far from that, regardless. Yeah. Like,
no, because we medicate everything and.
Right. So to round out my inadvertent thought, I felt like not in every instance, you know what I'm saying? Not in every instance would I say this applies, but it got me thinking, like, it's so many kids now that are going to college and not getting their shot in their field and all that. And I see that it's like, it's not trending upward at the moment for the cost that you pay.
Oh, no, and not at all.
It got me thinking, like, at the end of the day, though, it's really just like a cool kids club. You know what I mean? You got certified by the cool kids, so that means more.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper. I mean, ultimately, what I will say is that a college degree, and I think we've had this discussion I think we had this with Matt not too long ago. Like, that piece of paper means less now than it did, like, in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 90s. Like, because,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Continue, but yeah, no, that's what I was getting at.
I think you're actually starting to see it as less of a requirement for some jobs. Like, I will acknowledge that I grew up as like an educational elitist, obviously. Like, my mom sent me.
What's that mean?
Meaning, like, my mom sent me to the best school in Central Ohio, at least in her mind.
Right.
I mean, it's where my dad wanted me to go, so I went to St. Charles. Even if it hadn't been St. Charles, it probably would have been like Columbus Academy or Bishop Hartley or one of those schools. In response to that, I went to a school like Carnegie Mellon for college. Now, as judgy as I've been about it in the past, my sibling, whatever they're calling themselves today, whether it's Matt or Maddie, has decided to go to Ohio State on scholarship. And, like, the money we had from when my dad passed, he still had a lot of it when he graduated.
Right.
I was tapped out. Like, I actually had to take out a student loan for my last year or semester. And so, at the time, though, I had a lot easier time getting a job. Like, I had 2 or 3 offers by the time I actually buckled down and, like, applied and did that kind of stuff.
Right.
He struggled for a while and ended up going, like, another round of school with, like, grad school and stuff. And what's funny to me is he took an entry-level position in my field. Like, so he ended up in the same place, although he's not necessarily like moving climbing the ladder the way I am. But again, that's not necessarily his MO either. But, you know, his degree costs a lot less, but he's at the same kind of entry point that I was. So to your point, like, even for us growing up, I don't know that it mattered. Now, CMU gave me a few extra opportunities in terms of just the network and that kind of stuff, but that's what you're paying for, is you're paying for the network. And at a smaller school like CMU, that can matter. At a big school like Ohio State, nobody fucking cares that you graduated from Ohio State. Like,
right.
Guess what? It's the largest school in the country. A lot of fucking people graduate from it.
But that also speaks even more to the cool kids club.
Yeah.
You know, everybody goes. You know, if you get the diploma, you went to the cool kids club, but how cool was your club?
I will tell you this, and it's funny because she came to me, I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. One of my right hand at work, so on my actual team, not on the project team, and I'm basically prepping her for a promotion. Like, when I move up, she's gonna move up with me.
Right.
And she basically confided to me that, like, she was scared because she doesn't have a degree. She doesn't have those things. And I looked at her and I'm like, if you don't think you're already doing this level of work, like, right. I have not done a good enough job building you up. Because it's clear to me, like, she's outperforming anybody at basically the next level that she would be at. Like, she would go from a ranking standpoint, she would go from and we're back to work. She would go from achiever back up to, like, she would still be an achiever at the next level. So it's like, okay. In my mind, what you learn from college is, or what you get from that piece of paper is, you show that you have the ability to learn. And that you have the ability to follow rules and meet other people's expectations for how you're going to deliver. That makes you you
get so much more than just, you know.
Yeah.
But
that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, is that it shows that you can fit into for lack of a better term, it shows you can fit into a corporate culture and be successful. Which is also why, like, I probably will not push on college as much as my parents did, because, like, you can get there. It's all about your work ethic. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you go to school or not. It has to do with in my mind, it has to do with work ethic and opportunity.
And at this point, if I'm being honest, I hate to even continue speaking on this, but I look at it as this is the point where your opponent is punching. Yeah. As far as these young kids coming up today, it's not like you don't even want to get a trade so much just yet, right?
Right.
Because we don't know where we're going to be by the time you get out of high school or whatever the case may be. So why I say it's almost like your opponent is throwing a punch, because you have to wait at this moment. Like, I don't feel like you can commit unless you're going to be a doctor, which is still kind of scary when you know how close they are with machines.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, like, a lot of these fields are at the point of where it's like, you can go into it, but by the time you get done with it, you don't know that it's not going to be a computer taking your spot.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, and that's where I come back to, I think we talked about it, again, when Matt was here, around, like, the trades in general. Like, the need for them in the big, like, super scale efforts is probably going to continue to decrease. And that you can start to replace with more and more machines, because that's where it's going to be cost effective to use machines. Where it's not cost effective is still those smaller scale things. And it comes down to, you either hire somebody to do it or you become a DIYer, and it's whether or not you have the patience for it. Like, I know that drywall is not that hard. I know,
no, not at all.
I know that I can do it. Do I want to, like, spend the time, effort, energy to, like, rip everything out and put it in the dumpster? No. So...
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends, you know? It all depends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are absolutely right. Like shit like that, you'll never be able to have a machine do it unless you're 3D printing and they're just locking it into place.
Right. Well, and I think they've shown concepts of that actually working.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I've seen prefabricated homes that are basically that, where a giant 3D printer builds them. But
that's interesting.
I'll come back to like my profession, like project management. Yes, there are certifications for project management, and yes, there's a methodology to doing things and all that jazz. I've gotten one certification in my life for project management, and I got it as a joke more than anything because all they wanted was they moved me into this role, and then they were like, it'd be really good if you had this certification to show that you're qualified for it. And I'm like, that's fine, like I'll go get the certification, but it didn't mean anything, and I let it lapse within a year. Like I'm like, I don't care.
Fuck
Either
that
I can
certification
do my job or not.
Fuck that certification. Fuck your job.
It all comes down to experience.
My job. Fuck these jobs.
Well, you're the one that brought it this way. This one was your fault.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god, doing that.
Your couch, nigga.
Oh my god, doing that. Where we at?
Correction. I had sex with you.
Well, that motherfucker's stupid. What was he talking about? Not work?
Not work. Let's see. I just finished something. What did I just finish? You're not a This Is Us fan. This Is Us. It's been very emotionally damaging.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an NBC. It's a network TV show.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Man, I don't know. I've been playing Helix 2. Remember that?
I don't know nothing about that.
It's another RPG game. It's
like
it's got a little of like a Mass Effect vibe or like a Skyrim vibe to it. But it's one of the it's kind of a lesser title. Like the first one didn't do well.
No, I don't know nothing about that. But you know what? I been playing that. Well, the first one, the Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
I've been playing that Spider-Man, and that's actually a good fucking game.
Wait, on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Did you get a PlayStation?
I didn't get a PlayStation. I didn't get a PlayStation.
Uh-huh. All right.
But Malcolm got a PlayStation 5.
Oh, did he?
And he plays 2K. So he basically like a game share situation. He brought me his PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So I can play
with
the
him
2K he bought, right.
Gotcha.
And he still got a couple games on there. Other ones is like Dragon Ball Z and shit, and I don't know nothing about that. I don't think I could ever really get into that like that. But that Spider-Man, and you know I talk shit about Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man. That is not my
but it is like
superhero.
It is like the game for PlayStation based on what I've heard.
But to play it though,
yeah,
man,
you swinging through the city and shit.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I didn't plan on playing it like that. I just turned it on. I swear I was on it for about 4 hours straight.
Ooh, all right.
I was on it for about 4 hours straight. It had me hooked. But what it did do is beyond that, because you know I don't really even get into shit like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that I do have a PlayStation in my hands, it made me want to get that God of War.
How'd I know that?
That's where, man, it made me want to get that, and I'm still thinking about it.
I mean, I feel like that's old. Like, is there a new one out, or are you talking like some of the older ones?
Any of them. I mean, I haven't had a PlayStation in decades, so.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's got to be available somewhere for cheap.
Right. Oh no, I'm not paying $60 for it.
Hell no.
No, I'm not doing that. But I need a God of War. I need to see what that's about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at least recently, I haven't had time.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And I've been helping my stepdad. He's renovating the house. I've been helping him with that. So as soon as I get off work, I'm straight over there.
Yeah.
Well, when I can, when I'm not podcasting and shit.
Right. No, I'm with you. Like, it's funny. The last 2 nights, like, I intended to, like, sit down and game, and I was either texting people or, I don't know, nonsense. And I didn't get
I did for a little bit. I did for about from me getting off to doing the podcast, I did for a little.
Yeah.
But that was really, like, all I did for the week.
No, I get it. Well, and it's tough, too. Like, I don't know. On nights where I've got A-Reg, it's usually I go pick him up from school at about 3 o'clock, and then I'm still working till 5:36. And so by the time I'm done, it's like either he and I are doing something, or we're taking the dog to the dog park, and then it's like, all right, well, it's time to start bedtime routine, and then it's 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I might do something for an hour. So usually it's I pop something on TV and just kind of like flip through my phone or text or whatever. And then I'm ready for bed, man. Getting old.
Right.
But, all right. Well, you got anything else, or you want to get into the main topic?
Nah, let's get into it.
All right. You want to kick it off? Kind of talk through your mindset on this one. Talking about innovating entertainment.
Yeah, man. So basically, I mean, the reason that I guess the shit that got me thinking about it, right, is just watching like all the little new quicks that they put out on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that. Like, you can't get rid of them, because even when you're scrolling through Facebook, like,
they pop up.
It'll just like, and it's like, I don't even know these motherfuckers, but you put it on my feed, so I'm gonna watch it because I'm that kind of motherfucker. Excuse me. But I watch it and I'm like, everything is just so choreographed. Like, even I think the example I gave when I told you was the people do amazing things videos that you used to be able to look up back in the day, and it would be like the most wildest shit caught on camera. And it's like, now motherfuckers is staging it, right? To the point that it's like everything's weird is what I'm getting at. So beyond that, I'm wondering where we go from here, because we know, like, it's a cycle. But it's not like we go 180 in 108. You know what I'm saying? So we go from here to somewhere else. And my next thought was that VR shit, like, you're selling real estate in the VR and all that. Right, that's what I meant, the metaverse.
Yep.
So that leads me to believe that you're gonna make the metaverse like this reality.
So a couple of things, and I'll give you kind of my take, just kind of building on to what you said.
Right.
So we saw in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a big, like, produced TV writer strike, which gave rise to what? It gave rise to reality television.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. You right.
And it was in, like, the only reason I remember it, and I remember it was about, I think it was the mid to early 2000s, was because it was, like, during 24. 24 didn't come out for a year or some shit. And with that, the reason they went to that route was because there were no writers. So what could you do?
Content.
You could produce reality television. And I'm not going to say that early reality television was any different than what it is now, but we know where kind of reality television went. It became overproduced. While not scripted, they are pushed in a certain direction to make for better content.
Right.
Similarly, about the same time, 2004, 2005, we saw the advent of what? Facebook.
Okay.
So
I'm following.
we started building, at the time the concept was called Web 2.0. And the idea was that this was the next version of the internet, and we were going to all be connected and all this great stuff, and you were going to get the long tail effect. You were going to be able to find whatever you wanted to find on the internet, find like-minded communities, all that shit.
Right.
What actually happened, and we talked about this about this time last year with the 2020s conversation. We gave people a venue to curate their lives and to give the picture of what they wanted their lives to be, not what their lives actually were. Okay. Reality TV followed a similar script. It is posed in these quote-unquote realistic situations, which are completely unrealistic for the most part, but they're being guided behind the scenes to make it look like it's real.
Right.
So in my mind, the next evolution of that, and you kind of hinted at it with starting to talk about VR, the next evolution of that is like choose your own adventure type shit, or it's straight up VR, you're on the holodeck like Star Trek. Well, where you can live whatever life you want, and then you're in the whole Oasis thing from like Ready Player One.
Well, see, it's funny you say that, right? Because I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like you set me up perfectly, though, right? With you saying like the writers quit, right? So that gave rise to reality TV. So inadvertently, what that also did was it killed imagination.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are now currently imaginationless, when they make a VR, they make it exactly like the reality that we're living in, right? So it almost makes me feel like we're going to get to the point where you can put on your virtual reality glasses and slip into that metaverse, and you might catch a ticket for breaking somebody's window. You know what I'm saying? Like they bought this property and you just broke their window in the VR.
You get charged for digital vandalism,
right? You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, where is the? I mean, to put it very simply, where's the difference?
Yeah.
How am I escaping this reality by going in here if I can catch a ticket on the real world for throwing a rock through your window?
Right. Well, and that's kind of...
Now, if that rock is wrapped in tape and it says nigger, you know what I mean? I get it. But if it's just like some bullshit, oh well, nigga, press restart and re-upload your house.
Right.
Oh well.
No, and it's interesting. So they get into that a little bit in Ready Player One with the Oasis. But where the Oasis ends up is... like, it's not reality, but there's still digital real estate. So basically, there's like any pop culture reference of the last 30 years, you can basically go live that story or live on that planet or live in that version of reality.
I think I see what you're saying.
So like, there's a I'm trying to remember.
I've been saying I was gonna watch that movie for how long now?
Forever. And so you I'm telling you, man, you would like it. Like, it's funny. I actually just introduced Andrew to it like a week or two ago, and he's fucking obsessed with it.
Nah, it's been at least a year and a half. I've been saying I was gonna watch that movie, and I ain't watched it.
HBO Max, bro.
Ready Player One. Okay.
But like. And it's funny because at that point in the future, people like the planet is doomed, like the world's falling apart in real life, right. So everybody escapes to the Oasis, which I actually think is probably not that far off from where we're heading.
Wait. the Oasis is a real place?
Well, the Oasis is the metaverse, basically.
So wait, the world's doomed. We'll throw on VR goggles. That doesn't stop us from dying. It's not like we live through in the VR. It's not like the VR keeps going after we're done.
No, absolutely. But when I say the world's doomed, it's basically like it's overpopulated. It's funny. It's actually the primary real world location in Ready Player One is Columbus, Ohio, because that's the home of where the company that founded the Oasis was headquartered.
That's the home of overpopulation.
So basically, there's these like people live in literally these trailers that are stacked on top of each other, and they call it the stacks. And it's basically like the future state version of the projects.
Right.
Anyways, so yeah, like the world basically sucks at that point. It's overpopulated, resources are low, and people, like, rather than deal with the actual issues, like, escape to this fantasy reality in VR.
When did this come out?
Probably 3 years ago, and I think Ernest Climbing wrote the book in, I want to say, like, 2015. It's relatively recent.
Okay. I can't see that being the case, though. Like, in real life, I can't see that ever happening.
2011 is when when it was released as a book.
Yeah, regardless, I can't see that ever happening. Just for number one, the government ain't gonna issue every motherfucker a headset.
No, but you say that, and 20 years ago you would have said the same thing about cell phones. Not everybody's going to be able to afford a cell phone. Right? Like 20, 30 years ago.
I mean, I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
Here's the thing: is the cost of production of shit like that is going to continue to decrease. Part of the reason why it hasn't caught on is that you're still charging $450, $500 for just the headset, let alone like getting into haptic technology, which is like the
listen. Let me explain
suit
something to you.
You can explain all you want to me.
Listen, white folks.
Black folks got cell phones too, bruh.
Listen, white folks is getting robbed right now out in LA for nothing. They got something called what they call it? Fuck. It was like vacationing, but you're vacationing to steal. People are coming over from other countries just to rob motherfuckers in LA. If they find out that motherfuckers is putting headsets on and laying down in their bed and getting into the metaverse, you better have a very good alarm system. And
no doubt.
Be hooked to your VR headset. You hear what I'm saying?
No doubt. Well,
be like these motherfuckers get in the metaverse 5 o'clock every time, and they be in that bitch till 12.
Well, and to be
going in there.
And to be clear, though, that's kind of the principle of the book: is nobody has anything worth stealing in the physical world. Like their investments, their possessions are all in this digital reality.
I feel like that's what everybody's fighting for at the moment is possessions.
Yeah.
So unless possessions just get struck from the books, which it'll never be, I don't think that we'll ever see that either.
I don't know.
There's going to be certain people that are going to be like, man, you got me fucked up. Fuck that VR headset. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are like, nah, I'm with the VR headset. They're going to be looking over their shoulder like, oh, shit, I hope nothing happens. Because listen, anybody that got a VR knows, even without putting on headphones, that VR will drown out your noise.
Oh, yeah, it does. It does. And that's before you start thinking about the fact that eventually they're going to integrate it with something like Bose and noise canceling and all that shit. Not to mention eventually getting to the point where you are in either a haptic suit or a chair or something that like keeps you moving, but you're centralized. You're in one location. Like that's the thing with Ready Player One. I think like everybody has like an omnidirectional treadmill where like you can run, change directions, run, and it changes with you.
Right. And just to be stuck in that.
But again, if you're investing all your time there and you don't have worldly possessions because all your possessions are digital, you're not worth robbing.
What
Unless
year
they're
was
actually-
this that this took place?
I want to say like
3025?
no, like 2035.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Like 20 years from now. You say that, dude, but this time, or let's say 20 years ago.
Only way that happens
would
is
have
if
been
there's like
weird.
some sort of great war that wipes out everybody's shit.
See,
and
you say that 20 years ago, you wouldn't have imagined that everybody would be like this all the time. You wouldn't have. But they are.
You're correct.
You can't go
You're
anywhere
correct.
with somebody like not having half the people in the place be on their fucking phones. I mean, I'm guilty of it at times. Like, I specifically put my phone away when I'm hanging out with my kiddo because I know that I can get caught in that world.
I'm the opposite. Joe.
Yeah.
I don't even look at my phone when I get off work.
No, I know, because you never answer when I call you, so.
I'm not, it's never on ring. It's always on silent, and I'm not looking at it if I have free time.
No, I get that. Well, and I mean, I think the difference is, well, no, I think you and I are just different in that regard. Just from I think you have folks over at your place more than I do.
No, not so much anymore.
Not as much anymore.
But I mean, I say that, well, it works either way, whether I'm by myself or I'm with someone. My phone is the last thing I'm thinking about.
Now, see,
even if it goes off, I know it's probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm on mine more when I can't be doing something else. Like, not can't be, but like when it's that.
I know what you mean.
That watching TV or playing video games, like I'm just as likely to be on my phone as I am watching TV.
Yeah, no, my prime phone time is 3 a.m. 3 a.m. when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep. I'm just on the phone scrolling.
Yeah.
Looking through shit.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the day, especially because I do the sports podcast, I take notes and shit, but that's quick shit. Like, oh, I just saw something that might be interesting. Let me jot that down.
No,
but
I get
I'm
that.
not.
Well,
I'm not a big phone guy.
So since we're talking about the metaverse, someone threw in the chat. So did you guys read that goofy article on Vice about women getting sexually harassed in the metaverse?
I did see that.
I think one woman says she was gang raped, but like how?
I did. I heard that as well. I heard that as well.
I wonder if
I don't know.
I wonder if they're getting
imagined
arrested and charged for it.
I imagined it like the Call of Duty shit, like when somebody kills you and they like drop their balls,
yeah,
like they teabag. You know what I'm saying? It was probably some shit like that because I highly doubt that the powers that be have developed the technology for rape to happen in the metaverse.
Well, I mean, the theory is you can do whatever you want. Now it's all like computerized at this point, but at some point, again, going back to VR and going back to haptics and like, yeah, in that situation, you would be able to take your goggles off or take your suit off or whatever and like disconnect. But I'm sure it's still emotionally traumatizing.
Right. I know there's going to be, who would be doing that anyway, right? But it's going to happen.
Right. Right.
It's going to happen and it's going to be an issue. It's just like...
Well, yeah, because if you put a bunch of dudes on technology, chances are at least 60% of them are going to be assholes about it.
We're going to play it like GTA.
Right.
We're going to play it like GTA.
We're going to grab the one that looks like a hooker, take her in the car, get our health back, and move on to the next one.
That was a good... Listen. Cheers. That was a good one there. That was a perfect... Listen.
So I
think...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. No, what I was going to say is I think we strayed a little away from the topic and got just strictly into the talking about the metaverse more than the innovation of entertainment.
Well, I think... What I do think we should jump back, but I think that that's where we're headed, though.
No, I agree. And I think that what's interesting is you've seen video games become more ubiquitous. Not that everybody plays them, but you've seen a wider audience. do we get to a point where, again, I'll go back to like Star Trek and the holodeck. Do we get to the point where VR and like physically playing a story where you're the main character, or even if you're a side character, because I think that would be interesting in some regards too. Like, can you change the plot? Does that become the primary form of entertainment, of storytelling? Moving away from video or from movies and TV to like interactive storytelling.
Now we're getting to what we talked about. Was it last week or the week before last? We were talking about the simulation theory, and I said one of the things that would lead me to believe that we're closer to confirming we are is if you start having your player speak with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you see little, you know, what do you call it? Data encrypted shit that happens where you don't play so long and it'll like send you a message and say, hey, like, hey, I ain't seen you, what's going on? But when you have your player start speaking with you,
yeah,
I feel like that's where it's like.
I mean, did you ever watch Westworld?
No, I don't know nothing about that either.
So Westworld's another one that I think the first 2 seasons would intrigue you and you'd like vomit on it by the 3rd season. But Westworld was the idea that it was a physical place. It wasn't virtual reality. But it was androids that were programmed to act and behave human, where you could actually go live these things out.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And the idea was that you could like basically go to the Wild West and like live like somebody in the Wild West, whether it was a gangster or anything else you wanted to be.
But you were like a robot that...
No, you're there physically, but all of the quote-unquote non-player characters are all androids. But you can interact with them however you want. Like, yes, rape is a thing in Westworld. Like, you could take the bartender or whatever, the female that was serving.
Can they kill you? Like if you was in like a duel, like
that's one of the protocols is they can shoot you, but they can't kill you. So like you could be injured, but you couldn't die.
That's weak.
Well, but the idea is that you don't want to kill your customers, right? You want them to come back. And actually,
they don't necessarily.
Actually, I take that back. I think that was one of the prime rules for the androids was they couldn't harm anyone, and that's the whole plot. Is eventually the androids become self-aware and they realize they're being basically fucked over and over again, and they gain sentience and figure out how to fight back. Like that's the plot.
That might be interesting. I would root for the androids.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I would root for the fucking androids. You just gonna rape me and do all that to me, and then you think I'm not gonna eventually build up animosity?
Yep, and eventually, like, that's exactly what happens.
I'm rooting for them. I mean, I've been said, listen, you know the script.
Right.
You know the script.
So that's the other side of it. But when I think about the whole choose your own adventure thing, maybe that's an interim step. I mean, we saw it a little bit with like Netflix and Bird Box. Like I feel like
I
Netflix
enjoyed that too.
Yeah, and I feel like Netflix has done it in a couple of ways. I guess my question is, could you ever take that out of home? Like, could you do that in a theater where like the choice pops up on screen and everybody has to text in and say, all right, we're picking this one, and then it's a vote, and whichever side gets more votes.
That's interesting.
And then by the time it gets to video or gets to streaming, you can do whatever you want when you get it in your own house. But if it's released in theaters first, like it may be different every time you go based on like what the crowd is like that night.
Right. I like that.
Right? But again, that gives us a new avenue for storytelling. Like think about, I'm sure there are countless examples of where you would love to see like an alternate ending, or what if the character did this instead? But
it limits the directors because very few would be able to pull that off. You have to not only direct your movie but you have to, like how they do post cuts,
Yeah.
like you have to do that for every situation that could happen, every opportunity that they could take.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I think about it. What you do is you hire somebody from something like Telltale Games, where you've got that like quick interaction where like you have to make a choice in whatever number of seconds. And
I know exactly what you're saying. So I mean,
you cut it down to maybe 4 or 5 key decisions in a 2-hour movie, or you cut it down to maybe it's 5 to 10 in a 2-hour movie.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like a video game.
Yeah.
So if you do 4 to 5 within a 10-hour movie, you still have 4 buttons that you could select, which means that they would have 20 options that they would have to record.
Right.
Along with the base of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, but now that I say it out loud, it doesn't seem that not doable. I'm sure they do that anyway.
Right. That's why you get,
and they just don't
scenes.
put it out.
That's why you get post credits. Like, that's why you get some of that stuff. Now, do I think that, outside of maybe Clue, have we ever seen that on like a movie theater scale where there were alternate endings that were in the theater, but there was no interaction? It was all luck based on like what cut the theater was showing that.
That would be hot. Now you just said that. I think you hitting on some shit. Now that would be hot right there. Because when you say Clue, I think of the old 1970s joint.
Right.
So that's the Clue I think of, but that would be hot if you did a Clue in that Bird Box. It wasn't Bird Box, was it?
I think so. It was something like that.
I remember what it was. The little boy who, well, he wasn't a little boy, but he was building his own video game.
Something like that.
And you got to choose if you was going to save your mom or save your dad. Or something like that at the end.
To be frank, like I never went back and did it. I've done other ones with like my, so there's like a Bear Grylls one on Netflix. It's like him out in the wilds, and you can make the choice for him. Like there's 3 or 4 options every episode.
Oh, I might need you to send me that.
Yeah, that's another Netflix one. Andrew was into him for a while, but yeah. And the thing is like you can make a decision where he ends up having to bail out, where like he has to call for help to come get him.
Right.
So I think the choose your own adventure is probably the other lane we could look at for entertainment. Now to the point, maybe not. Like I'm thinking it's probably cost prohibitive in some regards right now, depending on the kind of movie. But there's other kinds of movies where you could do that kind of storytelling, and if you don't have a lot of post-production, it would still be, I would imagine the cost is still manageable. It's more just like, you almost have to like build out the tree of, all right, so the movie starts here and then it can veer off and then it can veer off again and then it can veer off again. Like it's just, at what point does that become unwieldy? Or do branches connect, and like even if you don't make a certain decision, do they still come back together in some choices?
I don't feel like you can do that. Like I don't feel like you can have the same ending for multiple decisions.
I mean,
that's where it gets kind of weak. Maybe one lane could lead to the other.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to cut costs, that's where I say only certain directors can do it.
No, I agree with you.
That's where it's like.
But then again, it comes to limiting the number of choices. So those are your options. You either have things that come back together unnaturally, or you've got kind of infinite options. I don't know.
But I do think that you're on to something. I think that would be the easiest progression currently.
Yeah. And I immediately go to the Telltale games because, like, in a lot of ways, no matter what choice you make, you still end up with like roughly the same ending. It's just like your emotional journey to get there.
Right.
Like I go back to, I think I've talked about this with Star Wars. Like people were upset about The Last Jedi because Luke Skywalker went off and became a hermit and basically cut himself off from the Force, and we never got to see the badass Luke Skywalker that we wanted to see basically after Return of the Jedi. Like, this dude's a Jedi Master now. He should be able to do all this cool shit.
And he turn evil too?
Luke didn't. Well, he kind of does during Return of the Jedi in my mind.
Okay. Then that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But my point of view is you can fix all of that with a video game. You can fix that with a video game where you can play Luke Skywalker however the fuck you want to play him. And then it gets to the scene that they talk about in Last Jedi where, like, he basically tries to strike down Kylo Ren before he becomes Kylo Ren. When he's still Ben Solo, and he's like, I sense the dark side in him, blah, blah, blah. Like, you could tell an entire story, have Luke Skywalker be whoever the fuck you want Luke Skywalker to be, through these 5 or 6 different journeys, and still end up at the Jedi Temple where that went down with Kylo. And the scene can play out the same way, but you as the player now have your own story as to why it got to that point. Because it's more about the why, not the what, in that scenario.
No, I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I feel like in that you're kind of mixing the two. You know, like you're mixing the game and the movie.
Yep.
And I feel like the only way to properly do that would be if it would be Pixar to us.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is I want it to be a movie though. You know, like you want to be manipulating real people.
Right. No,
and I know that sounds weird, you know, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Even in a weird way about us as human beings, we want to manipulate the real people, not the video game character. Right.
Well,
right.
I would say, like, it's interesting. I think where you can pilot this whole thing, and I feel like they tried to do it. Like, wasn't Quantum Realm like one of the first games for Xbox One? Isn't that what it tried to do? Was like bridge the gap? Like, you had cutscenes that happened that were straight up movies. It was basically a TV show.
Quantum Realm. Oh, wait.
It was something like that. I don't remember for sure what it was called, but it was like one of the first games that came out with Xbox One. And honestly, I feel like that game was ahead of its time because it tried to do what you're talking about, which is you can play the game in between, but it influences like which episode of the TV show you see or how those episodes are done.
I think.
So what I'm saying is, can you do something like the Telltale games where, to your point, like you've got decision points where you've got 4 options, but instead of it being like the comic book art style, it's just live action.
Well, they did that with LA Noire.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so those are the styles of games
more
that
so
I'm talking
thinking
about.
I'm more so thinking what you're saying from like I'm at a movie standpoint. We're at the movies and the movie says if you want to interact, dial star 345 to tap in, and then you can respond.
It's probably an app that, like, once the movie's it's synced up with the movie start, and you can click and vote like as the movie goes because everybody has their fucking phones out at the movie anyways. Assholes. But this would give them a reason to.
It doesn't bother me though. I mean, I don't really.
It doesn't bother me if it's behind me. If it's in the seat in front of me, I don't like it.
I don't know about the seat in front of me. I'm thinking more so right next.
Well, fair. All right. I don't disagree.
Seat in front of me, you're lower. I'm not really paying attention. Your seat goes high enough that I'm not worried about your phone.
Depends what theater you're in, but yeah.
But right next to me, I'm like, damn, my nigga, like, you the new Black. You talking through the movie.
Dude, I will do you one better. Andrew and I went to go see Sonic 2 in theaters. This woman at the end of our row handed her daughter an iPad and let her daughter watch another show on the fucking iPad during the movie. Full volume.
She didn't even have headphones or nothing.
No. And I almost went and yelled at this poor little Mexican woman. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah, if she was white, you should have yelled at her.
Yeah, she was Mexican, and I felt like I
couldn't. You can't.
Right. You could have. I could not.
I probably could have said something, but I couldn't have yelled at her. They still would have been like, ma'am, are you okay?
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You stupid.
That is still one of my favorite videos of all time.
That's just what?
That cartel video where they pulled over the two gay dudes. It's okay.
Man, I swear. And it's crazy because I feel so much comfort from them when they do that. Like it's crazy how they handled that so much better than I see so many police
officers
interact. Just a ticket, just a regular speeding ticket. They pulled up with straps and handled it better.
Right.
It's crazy. Listen, that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, we got about 10, 15 minutes, and then we got to take a break, all right?
Yep, no, you cool.
All right.
My G coming home?
Yes, he is. See how the concert went. I'm going to try to get him into bed quickly. We'll see how that goes.
I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to say that.
No? All right. We'll move on. So what other innovative entertainment ideas? Like, actually, kind of circling back to how we got to this point. Do we have professional wrestling to blame for this? A quote-unquote sport that was billed as a sport for a very long time that was always produced and scripted behind the scenes. Like, was that the first example of, like, reality television going scripted and produced?
I think you are absolutely correct. I think what happened was what wrestling did was split everybody down the middle, right? Because as a kid, you just grow up and you're like, it has to be real,
right?
You know, like look at
the shit that he got kicked in the face.
But then when you get old enough to realize, you either have the people that stick with it for the entertainment,
yep,
and then the other ones split off and say, "No, I feel disrespected."
Right. I'm only watching MMA or boxing or.
And there's a lot of people that feel that way. Because I feel kind of disrespected. Like, it's like, don't stop your flow. No, not at all. I'm not saying stop.
Right.
Get your money.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's all they care about now is the money. This product is trash.
See, I wouldn't know. But it's like, damn, that's why I respected Brock Lesnar so much.
Yeah.
Because he was one of them motherfuckers that was from wrestling, and he was like, wait a minute. I know I got what it takes to do that.
Do it for real.
And he really did it.
Oh, no doubt. Now, I will say his first match against, maybe it wasn't his first
match.
Frank
Mir.
But yeah, where Frank Mir caught him in that weak-ass ankle lock.
That was his first championship match.
That's what I thought. I didn't think it was his first match, but it was his first title fight.
That was his first championship match.
And, he's literally beating the shit out of Frank Mir and standing next to him, and he doesn't know what to do. And Frank just grabs the ankle and rolls it.
Yeah. And he already had bad knees.
Right.
But then
he murdered Frank Mir the second time, if I recall.
Oh my gosh, he ran through him like a steamroller.
He beat the
and that's the sign of a good fighter, though. I'll make adjustments. You got me that first time, but I'll make adjustments, and you're gonna have to now fight the guy that made adjustments.
Yep.
You're not seeing the same guy that stepped in there the first time.
No.
Well, that's why I respect him so much. You came from wrestling, and let me be honest.
Well, to be clear, he came from collegiate wrestling first. The dude is a legit 2 or 3 time national champion heavyweight in the NCAA.
I knew that.
Yeah. So while yes, he went to pro wrestling, like he did originate in fight sports and
Right.
was a collegiate wrestler at heavyweight.
I don't really consider that fight sports, though, if I'm being honest. I consider that endurance sports.
I hear you. I think it still falls into combat sport, but I hear what you're saying. Like I understand the delineation you're making, but
right.
I've got
and for the people out there that don't understand where I'm coming from when I say that, because I do respect wrestling, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But endurance is what beats you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't endure the strength of the other person, that's what beats you. But when I think of fight sports, it's beyond endurance, because you still have to endure the strength of the other person, but you also have to endure the damage of what comes with throwing, receiving, all of that.
Well,
and that breaks a lot of. I know a lot of people that got a lot of endurance, but your heart, when you take one too many, fold.
The only thing that I'll argue there is that wrestling and takedowns, like, you do have to have that physical ability to endure, which I think is what you're getting at.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying there's a difference between an endurance of feeling defeated, being taken down, and an endurance of
you're actually
this man is
punishment.
beating the shit out. Like black eyes, my head is pounding. I can't take too many more of these blows.
Yeah,
that's a different kind of endurance.
That's more like the O&D line to some extent. So you would consider football more of a combat sport than wrestling?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, I respect it.
Because you're leading with extremities, right?
Right.
Mainly being head and neck.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you don't in wrestling. I'm just saying you can't put somebody in a guillotine in wrestling because they led with their head and neck.
Right. Although
you get punished. Punishment is the word I was looking for. You get punished in fight sports for making mistakes. Like in wrestling, you don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You get beat, but you don't get punished.
No,
That's what I was looking for. The punishment is what I.
It's funny, you're talking about like leading with the head and that kind of stuff, and the punishment you take. Like, my move in wrestling was somebody would try to shoot a double or shoot a single on me, and it would be the legal version of a guillotine, which is just kind of a front headlock because you're not allowed to crank the neck or anything in wrestling.
Right, and pull them.
Well,
right.
I would hit them with this, which would be the cement. They called it the cement mixer, and it would flip them onto their back. Like, I won so many fucking matches with that because people thought they could take me down because I was a little taller, a little lankier back then.
Right.
Little did they know I had the hip strength.
I wasn't a wrestler like that. Chris got me.
Yeah.
Chris got me the first time he wrestled, but he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. He wrestled and all that. He wrestled with a broken collarbone. I think he lost that match, but I give Chris Pease on that. Wrestling wasn't my thing.
No, I get it.
Well, if I'm getting close enough if you're close enough to me to wrestle, then I'm on some jujitsu shit. Where's your neck? Where's your arm? Where are you? But I'm not going to wrestle. I'm not going to pin you.
No, but I will say, the rare occasion I got into something, if I was closing quarters, because I to be frank, like, I can't take a punch. Not in my jaw anyways. So, giving up my secrets. And that was
Don't do that.
15 years ago. Well, but
Have you been knocked out before?
Not knocked out, but I've been close. Like, I've been
wobbled, right.
Yeah. But that's also why, like, if I get into a situation like that, I'm closing quarters and I'm putting you on your back. Like,
right.
I am using my assets.
Right.
I'm gonna double leg your ass and I'm gonna slam you into the pavement or whatever it is to, if nothing else, knock the wind out of you and make you think about your next decision.
Right.
And if I'm trying to actually inflict damage, your head's cracking off as well. Like, because if I get in close quarters, I can pick up a 400-pound person if I have to.
I'll risk that. You just better not shoot in close enough for me to grab neck.
No.
Because if you can, if I get neck and you slam me, I'll take the head bouncing off the pavement. Yeah. But I'm not letting go, and you're asleep.
Night.
You're asleep because you just locked it in when you slammed me.
Right. I'm probably, yeah. I hear you.
Right. But I'm the exact opposite. I don't want you to touch me.
Yeah.
If I was fighting you right now, I'm moving. You're not touching me.
All right. Hey, we got to go ahead and take a break here, and we will be back in probably 5. All right?
He says that now.
Right. It's probably 10. We'll see. I'll cut it out at the...
Right.
But for all of our fans that joined us this week, thank you. It's nice to see the chat alive and well after the last couple of weeks with issues on streaming. So we'll see you here in a minute. Yo, welcome back.
Yo, welcome back to Two Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie.
Thank you, sir. And I am, that be me.
That be me, motherfucker.
I'm sure we lost all of our viewers, but it's all right.
How long was that, break?
I mean, it only seems like it was like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Wasn't that long.
I think so. I just used the bathroom and ordered some food.
There you go. I understand.
That long.
I understand. It wasn't that long.
Where were we at, though?
I mean, we were getting into a little bit on the fight sports, combat sports definition. I actually don't know how much more we had left. So I don't know I don't know that conversation needed anything else, but.
Right. No, I don't think it did, but this is the best part of the show.
This is where we try to fill the last half hour with random shit.
Yeah, this is back against the ropes part of the show. This is when the good shit comes out.
That's true.
Good shit. Let me think.
What are you thinking?
Number one thing that comes to my mind is participation trophies.
Participation trophies. There's been a lot of discussion on participation trophies lately.
I hate it. I hate them. And my mom said that that's the American way.
Is it?
And I feel like
white American way.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I did leave a few choice words out of there. But I don't even know if I can agree with that.
No?
Because a very short while ago, this didn't exist. Well, it did exist in certain areas, and that's where that comes in. But even when we came up, that wasn't a popular thing.
No.
I remember coaches telling us we don't do participation.
Well, yeah, and you may get something for participating, even high school, because I've coached high school sports forever.
A pin, pin for your letter.
A pin, or even if it's just, it was a piece of paper in a lot of cases. Here's your certificate of completion.
Yeah, you had to earn the pin, didn't you?
Yeah,
you did have to earn the pin.
Yeah. And usually, at least where I coached and where I've coached, and even when I was in high school, it was based on data. It was based on you played a certain number of quarters as a varsity player.
Oh, really?
Or yeah. Now the nice thing is that they counted a quarter as a single play. So if you were on special teams, you probably lettered.
Oh no, the letter, yeah, but the pin was different.
Oh, see, the pin for us was the second year letter. You got the letter itself as your first year, and then you'd get a gold pin or something to stick on your second letter.
Our pin was, and that might be true for people
depending
that didn't
on where
play.
It was, yeah.
But our pin was for production as well. If you produced so much, I don't know how they did it, because I only played 1 year for my high school, and I got the letter and the pin.
Gotcha. By the way, we got Blue out in the chat.
I've been waiting on him.
Finally, I've been waiting on the good part of the show. Is his comment? Right. Fuck you, Blue.
Listen.
Glad to see you out there, though. Good
fuck
shit.
That nigga. Nah, that's my nigga. Listen, came a long way to see that motherfucker on the chat. So I've been trying to what's his name from I've been trying to Tony Yayo him and hold the phone to the microphone, and it doesn't pick up.
Doesn't pick up. No. Well,
think Tony Yayo, my nigga.
If he got a phone, he can get Zoom. He can dial in whenever he wants.
Listen, I don't know. We don't want him to get in no trouble.
Trouble. Yep. I hear you.
Wait till it's over.
All right. Fair enough.
Over. But
you're my boy, Blue. Yeah. All right.
We need that on the.
Well, the first time we get him on the show, I guarantee you I'll have it on the soundboard.
Listen, we need that on the board. And I'm not even talking about for that motherfucker. Just Will Ferrell on the board. We need Will Ferrell.
Rotated some Will Ferrell clips. What sound bites do we want to pull for Will Ferrell?
What was the one from Wedding Crashers? He said, "Ma,
the meatloaf. Fuck."
Right, yeah, right. I want that one. I want the Talladega Nights with R.I.P. the great what's his name? Green Mile.
Oh,
damn, I can't think of his name. Michael
Clark Duncan.
Yeah, where he said, "Don't you wish that evil on me,
Ricky Bobby."
I want that on there. Listen, Will Ferrell is that's that nigga, man.
I'll do one.
Man, he said we're streaking.
We're streaking. Bring your green hat.
What did he say? He said, we can have any time to go to Taco Bell.
We're gonna talk about when she picks him up when he's naked in the. Pretty cold out there, isn't it, Frank?
Listen, man, we need Will Ferrell on that bitch.
Oh man!
But fuck that. Where were we at?
He did have a solid 4 movies. when we were coming up.
What?
What do you mean, what?
A solid 4 movies, Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
And I don't like Step Brothers.
Yeah, I don't either.
But a solid 4?
Anchorman, Old School.
2. You're waiting on me. Okay. Hold up.
It's not as many as you think.
Wait, what about
And I'm not a Talladega Nights fan either, so
Talladega was all right. I didn't think it was his best, but it was all right. It goes in that category with the ice skating movie.
See, I'll take Talladega over the ice skate. Blades of Glory or whatever.
Blades of Glory. That was funny though too. But hold up, man. Don't play my nigga Will.
Let's see. Blues in the chat with I'm just learning this technology shit. You see, I'm using my whole government name because he's got his full name in the chat.
See,
Aaron chiming in with Frank. I still quote Old School like the nerd I am because Old School and Anchorman are about it. Tim saying the other guys. I don't know if other guys is okay.
I like the other guys.
Maybe I never gave it a chance. I'm trying to remember. Is
Yeah,
that the one with Kevin
Mark
Hart?
Wahlberg?
Or no, that's the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
right.
He said you gotta let me fly, Frank. I'm a peacock.
I'll have to check that one out again.
He said, what did he say? He said, but I'm a shark. I'll drag you out into the ocean. And how do you think a lion will fare out in the ocean with a school of sharks? Yeah, man, Will Ferrell, the truth. Stop playing with him. I don't like, I never could finish, I'm going to keep it a buck. I never could finish Get Hard.
Yeah.
With him and Kevin Hart.
I think I've watched that one, and I think that just furthered my opinion that Will Ferrell has like 4 good movies.
I couldn't watch it all the way through.
Blues Out There with Daddy's Home being another one. I didn't like that one either.
Where Mark is
They're both stepfathers.
No, Will Ferrell's the stepdad, and Mark
Wahlberg.
Did I watch that all the way through?
See, I put Will Smith and Kevin Hart Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart kind of on the same realm. Like they both have like 3 or 4 movies I can tolerate them in the role.
I agree with that.
And then with Will Ferrell, like Kevin, they almost went too heavy.
I guess I agree with Will. Yeah, I guess I
because
agree with you.
Will Ferrell, what Old School and Anchorman did well that I don't know that he had the leeway in some of his other movies. Like he ad-libbed 80% of the script for those 2 movies.
Right.
For those 2 movies. I also like him more as like the supporting character who just comes in and gives one-liners than as like the main character.
I do too. I agree with that as well.
Anchorman being the exception. Oh, Elf is one I'd put on that top 4 for Ferrell.
Elf?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm giving him Elf.
Bye, buddy. Hope you
what happened to my guy Vince Vaughn?
He's another one that kind of fell off. Honestly, the last thing that I saw him in, he was such a minor character. It was a little weird. Have you ever watched Fighting with My Family?
No, I haven't.
It's about the WWE wrestler Paige. It's basically like her background and like her story.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in that movie, and he's like a WWE talent scout. And it was a good role for him, but like that's the last thing I remember seeing him in.
That was my guy too, man.
Him in Wedding Crashers is my shit.
Every Vince Vaughn movie is my shit.
Yeah.
Internship got me through some low times.
That's him and Owen Wilson again, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Internship was I loved Internship. I loved what was the one where based on the true story about the dude that was a sperm donor that had over like 48 kids.
Oh,
and they all got
together
and met up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
That was Delivery Man. Man. Yeah, Vince Vaughn, The Breakup, even though I hate watching it.
Yeah. That's the one with Jennifer Aniston, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't even got a lot of breakups under my belt. I know the feeling, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, like as entertaining as the movie is, it's like, fuck though.
I think my problem is that other than my marriage, I'm usually the one doing the breaking up, so
it's not even about that. Even that is like, it's like,
I mean, it still hurts, yeah.
Yeah, that whole movie just it throws me, right? That's a superstition. Let's round it back. Give me a call back. I won't watch that movie with a new fling.
Understandable. Probably a good call.
I will not watch that movie with it. And I feel like I could, but I feel like if I did, it would have to be at the very beginning of the relationship. You feel what I'm saying? That way, at least a motherfucker will let you know before they get to that point.
Yeah.
But if you watching it towards the middle to the end, that start ringing light bulbs in motherfuckers' head like, hold up. Yeah, I don't think I want to be with your motherfucking ass no more.
That's like, letting your significant other go and consistently party with her single friends.
Listen. And they're all whores. Yeah, right. You can finish your statement. They are. All of them are all whores. And it's like, but I'm not. Bitch, you are too. You are. Y'all kicked it. Y'all are whores together. I'm just playing.
No, honestly, if that was the case, then maybe we'd still be together.
Listen, well, you need to learn who to use it on, who to use your superpowers on, and who to keep them holstered with, right. Is all I'm saying. It's nothing wrong with being a whore. I'm not saying that at all. If I would never be with a woman that didn't have some
whorish tendencies.
Right. No, for lack of a better word, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I would never be with a woman that didn't.
I like the term.
I'm not the innocent girl type.
Sex positive. I want you to have a healthy relationship with sex, meaning I want you to be able to talk about it. I want you to be able to enjoy it. Like,
right.
If you're not the one for me, yo.
Right. Continue the conversation about sex for 3 seconds.
So, it's funny because Cliff and I have a question in the questionnaire that we came up with a while back, and I've actually found that, like, having the conversation about sex on the dating apps is a very good indicator as to, like, their view on sex. So, Cliff, I kind of circle back to our 10 questions that we came up for the dating apps with. And, like, the beer question is my intro into, like, talking about sex on that kind of conversation, because I immediately say, oh, by the way, we did another episode where we compared types of beer to sex acts. Like, that's the reason for the question. And if they start like shutting down after I talk about, stouts are the anal of beer.
They are, man.
If they start shutting down after that conversation, I'm like, this is not the one for me.
Right.
Next.
If you can't laugh about it.
Right. If you can't talk about it, if you can't laugh about it, if you can't partake in banter about it.
He said banter.
I am not the one for you.
Well, first of all, if there is even banter about sex, that's a red flag for me. Why are we bantering about a sexual act? Like, that's all right. We're not on the same page. That didn't work for us. That's fine. But I would like to openly speak, and I understand that we may disagree on some things.
Well, banter
we shall not.
See, in my mind, like, banter is like playful discussion about it.
Okay.
Like, for example, there was one, and I've gone out with this woman, where she was like, she vehemently disagreed that stouts and porters were the anal of beer, and I'm like, well, what would you say?
What is right? Beer? I'm up for the disagreement.
Right. Right. Well, no, and honestly, she didn't have a good answer to come back with, so, but it was a good. You
just want to be difficult. That's the red flag. It wasn't that you couldn't banter about sex. You just want to be difficult.
Right.
If you're gonna disagree, will help correct me.
No, you me tell you the one that obviously, like, at that point, I'm like, this isn't worth going any further, is when I asked the question, like, what are you wearing, thong or boy shorts, if you're feeling frisky? And they're like, oh, I won't answer that. That's private. I'm like, then you're not the one for me. Bye. Deuces.
And I can understand that. By no means am I, like, trying to down anybody that feels real conservative, real hee-hee. But, not that hee-hee.
That's not conservative.
No. I mean, like, cover your mouth when you laugh type hee-hee. But, yeah, that's up to you, and there are men out there for you.
Yeah.
But chances are, if you're on a dating app, you have to be loose. Not loose in sexual, but loose in conversation.
Agreed with that. Like, there was one that I got, like, 2 questions in, and this person was like, I'm bored. I'm like, well... And then
that's a wrap. Well, yeah,
exactly.
That's all, folks.
and she tried to, like, justify it for a second. I'm trying to remember what she said. Like, oh, it was the fucking Ninja Turtles question. And that's where she said I'm bored. And I'm like, about a Ninja Turtles question? She's like, I thought you would stimulate my mind. And I'm like, well, it's actually an archetype question. It's actually based in, like, historical literature around... the jester, the stoic leader, the rogue. Like, I tried to flip.
I understand that.
I tried to flip the conversation, right?
Accurate.
I tried to flip the conversation, right? And then she hits me with.
Let me find out you got some kind of game in you.
And then what she said next was, I don't identify with any of those, and I'm like, that's probably why you're alone. And I closed it.
You don't gotta be like that, though.
No, she was being difficult from jump. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, you were looking for a reason to... Yeah.
It was a little harsh. But, like, you're on an app. You
threw her phone out on the freeway.
I did. Well,
that's what you did.
Hey, you know what this... Hey, tell me something. Does this sound like your phone hitting the freeway?
Who would do that? That's a monster.
I don't know, Cliff. Who would do such a thing? To pick up someone's cell phone at the mall, be driving down the freeway, have that person call them, and then throw it out the window?
Well, first of all, that's not my fault, right? I did it. I'm the culprit. I did that. First of all. But it's not my fault, right? Because you're dumb. You left your phone
it out.
And you could have chose to talk to me politely.
Oh, see, that's true. I didn't hear the other end of the conversation.
You think I'm going to just throw your phone out? I've lost a lot of phones, and I've gotten them back because I'll talk to you politely.
That's true.
But you're dumb. I took your phone, though. Right. You hit that right time because I did take your phone. Why would I not? You left it right on the edge of the fucking parking garage. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna put it in my pocket at least.
Right.
Just talk to me nice. Talk to me nice, motherfucker.
Next time, don't be a dick about it. Circling back to Will Ferrell.
Now, and I know he's listening right now, and let me just tell you, you have your stories incorrect. That's not where you left her.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening in that conversation.
Yeah, and I bet if the story was told, you would remember it as well. Yeah. Yeah. But you ain't put it in YouTube, motherfucker. Right. You got your stories confused. It wasn't at the store. Shit.
See, now I wish I knew what story we were talking about. Maybe we could connect on.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
no.
Because you was definitely there.
I mean, it's possible.
That's funny.
I was around for a lot of this shit.
Oh, shit.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right. Yay, this is the show of endless interruptions. I wish I had another dating app story to tell. I don't know. They're entertaining. I have a good time with them. The 10 questions is definitely the approach because I think people are like, well, at least this is something different. It's not just a dude asking me if I want to fuck or for my Snapchat. So that's good. And yes, I do. I do remember said individual, Mr. Blue. He did put it in the chat.
Did he? Because he's a fucking fool. Yeah, no, you left her at Mike's house. Yeah. And she still owed me $5. No, I'm just...
and I tried to slow play that one.
Because he said he was coming back.
Right.
You a dirty motherfucker, Joe.
This is, you know what? These people joke about the fact that I have, that I am
That's my nigga.
at potential of having someone locked up in the basement, and I'm like, no, just the ones that get left here.
Listen, right? And how many of them was it?
Weren't there two? It wasn't just one. There were two here for like 2 or 3 days.
Separate instances, but correct.
There were a lot of people.
There, too.
There were a lot of people in and out of this this studio back then.
Those were the young wild days.
Oh man.
Forever young.
I wanna be
forever young.
Yes.
No, I don't want to live forever. Now, that's some crazy shit to even say.
And now he's asking, no, did I leave her there? Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. That's a fact, Jack. That's factual, Jack.
Oh, man.
I remembered as soon as I seen the text. That's why I started laughing.
I remember coming home from work and being like, huh, still here. Well, my shit's still here. I guess that's good.
No. You're thinking, but that's
am I getting it flipped?
Yes,
okay.
yes, that's two separate.
There was one with an L and one with a K, if I remember correctly. I don't remember.
I won't say nothing about it.
Oh, shit.
That's it, though. That's it.
He said, haha, my bad. I don't remember him.
Yeah. And you thought I was playing, she still owed me $5. That was the hit at the end of the night. Well, he ain't coming, so can I get $5 to get home?
Yeah, I guess. Oh man. Well, sir.
That nigga's stupid. He's stupid as hell for even saying that shit. Oh, that's funny.
Malk says $5 plus interest.
Listen, over fucking 20 years, that's about $20. That's all right.
Oh man. Well, sir.
It's all right. He still owe me. No, he don't.
No.
I lied. I'm about to say he owed me the Chinese spot. Because we bet on the was it the Raiders game? I think it was the Raiders game. Can't remember which one. But he don't. Damn. What you got?
I got nothing, man, and we're at about an hour 50.
Right, I thought you was wrapping us up.
I was, but I wasn't sure if you were ready to wrap it up. But if you're ready to wrap it up, let's wrap it up.
I don't got shit else. Shit.
All right. Well, you got anything to take us out?
Love everybody. Till they give you a reason not to.
Amen.
And then be... Fuck, I can't remember the name. I don't know, but it's an African name for a lion that means the one who greets with flame.
Interesting. All right.
Can't think of the name though.
All right.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week. We'll look it up.
To be continued.
Oh man. Uh-oh. Malk calling out that he's got FIFA 22 is where it's at. Got a free download to play it tonight. It's dope.
Hold up. Yeah, continue. I want to look that up.
What, FIFA 22 or the Lion?
Yeah, the Lion. I put Googles with an S.
You gotta Googles it.
Plural. I had a plural.
The multiple Googles. Ask the Googles.
Right.
Nah, I mean, the FIFA games are good. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but
Natwandumela.
Say it again.
Natwandumela, the one who greets with fire.
All right.
And it was basic. The story is about a lion who I think a pack of hyenas killed a woman in his pride, and he went out and hunted the hyenas down the following morning. I don't think he got them all, but he killed a lot of the hyenas. So they called him Natwandumela because he greeted everybody he came across with fire type shit.
All right. That's dope.
I might have to get a tattoo with a lion with flames as his mane and put Natwandumela above it.
I like the art concept. I don't know that you need the words, but
gotta have the words.
Right.
Otherwise, nobody's gonna know what it means. And if you do know what it means,
still not gonna know what it means. But...
And if you do know what it means, you know not to greet me crazy.
Are we gonna get the? When are we getting our MBK tattoos?
I've been waiting.
All right. I'm not quite jonesing yet, but it'll be. Honestly, you can tell you what it feels like. It feels like that would be a good celebration after this fucking project goes in this summer. So. Stack your money.
Well, it depends on how much I make from that project.
Hey, if I get a spot bonus for it, I'll cover us both.
Listen, well, what can I do to help?
All right, man. Well, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe. I am trying to get us so that we can live stream on TikTok. So when we get that figured out, we'll have a new station over at Foolproof Net.
Listen, then China gonna be watching this like
that's
a hawk.
right. That's access to 6 billion or 1 billion people.
I ain't gonna watch that shit. They gonna have us blocked. They gonna be like, these motherfuckers blocked.
Shit, we're probably blocked here. Anyways.
Could be. Listen.
Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. I got nothing. Peace out, fools.
All that.